All righty. Well, I hope everybody's ready to hear a little bit about my story. Um, I know that all of you know my famous husband. You know, he was a great builder, and he was a preacher, and that was Mr. Noah. And I'm Mrs. Noah, and I haven't gotten much credit over the years. Everybody's talked about Noah, but they really never talked about me. So I thought this would be my opportunity to talk about all the things that I did while Noah was off building the ark and preaching to those people. How many of you ever heard about me before? Have anybody heard my story before? Yeah, see, that's why I'm here. Well, I had to raise my children during some very wicked and evil days. And my boys saw wicked things around them when they would go outside. And I worked really hard at making sure that they lived as godly men. Now, Noah, as his custom, would go off and pray to God, and he would come home in different times and tell me different things that he said. And well, one time he came home and he was really upset. He said that God had talked to him and told him that God was angry at man. Well, I thought that was okay because I wasn't a man. But then he meant to know all mankind. Well, that changed the picture a little bit, didn't it? And he said that he was so angry at man that he wanted to destroy mankind. He said that his beautiful world had been corrupted and destroyed by what was happening around. But one thing that was interesting was that God knew our name as a family. And he had recognized that we had been living righteously and that he was going to save us because we had lived that righteous lifestyle. We'd not allowed ourselves to be corrupted by all the evil and that was going on around. God knew our name. He knew that we were the family of Noah. He noticed us. Now, God could see that we were doing our very best to raise the children as we could, and that we kept them focused on living the way of God and not following those other ways. And he said that what that did was that protected our family, and because of that, we were going to be rescued and saved. Now, with Noah building the ark and the preaching, well, over the past years, it had been interesting for sure. He was busy.
Raindrops are falling on my head.
Wait just a minute. That's Noah, that's my husband. Hang on just a second.
Nothing seems to...
Hi, Noah. Thanks for getting back with me. Yeah. Honey, I know you're busy. Yeah, you've been busy for 120 years. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I'm beginning to think you're never going to get that boat done. Yeah, ark. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, how's it going today? Another new shipment of gopher wood. Great. Mm-hmm. How are we going to pay for that? Uh-huh. God will provide. Yeah, God will provide. Yeah, that's what you always say. Uh-huh. Well, all right. Well, I certainly hope he does, or we're going to have to get in that big boat and go out in the water and, I don't know, run away someplace, I guess. Sorry, ark. Mm-hmm. So how was the preaching today? Uh-huh. Any converts? Same story. I don't think you're cut out for this preaching thing, honey. Mm-mm. No, I don't think you are. You haven't had any converts in 120 years. Well, yeah, except for me and the boys, but I mean, come on. I mean, if you don't get some converts, it's just going to be you and me and the boys on that big boat. Who's going to be the crew? Sorry, ark. Well, let me tell you, Noah, the women down at the well, they say you're crazy. They don't understand why you keep telling everybody they need to repent before the rain comes. Come on. What is rain anyway, Noah? Well, I don't know what is it? I know you said it was going to rain 40 days and 40 nights and that the whole world was going to be flooded. Yeah, right. Well, whatever that is. Yeah. Noah, you have to understand. See, Shep and Japheth and Ham, all his friends are making fun of him. Yeah, their friends say you don't have both oars in the water. How much longer is this going to be, Noah? Oh, I know. I know you're doing the best you can. Yeah. It's a big job. Yeah, it's a big job. Yeah. It's an honor to be serving the Lord. Yeah. It's going to pay off someday. Yeah. So tell me, if nobody repents and we get on this boat thingy, why are you building it anyway? Why is it so big? You're going to what? 2 of what? We're going to take them with us? Noah. Come on. A male and female of every living thing. Oh, Noah. Come on. If you don't, this flood thing's going to kill them all. I guess that explains the 2 boxes that the guy brought today. Yeah. He said there was a termite in each one. Yeah. He said it was weird, but that's how you ordered them. Yeah. Okay, I'll make sure they stay separate. I will. Yeah. Yeah, well, the boat thing is made of wood, isn't it? Yeah, ark. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll be careful. I really will. No, there's some deer out here eating on the shrubs. There's also some lions and tigers and bears. Oh my, I gotta go. I'm sorry about that. Well, like I said, it's been pretty eventful. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, okay. So God only gave Noah the dimensions and the material that he used. He didn't give him instructions. I don't think he would have read them anyway, do you? Anyway, well, that's okay. That's all right. But he's been really busy. So I've had the responsibility of our children, our 3 boys. Now, as Noah was off preaching and building, he did that for 100 years. I was responsible for the boys. And you have to understand that I faced a lot of ridicule. When I would go to the market, I was made fun of by all the people in my community. My parents didn't even understand what I was doing. I'd gotten so much pressure from my family. I can't even tell you what my sisters told me to do. Do you know how hard it was to raise my boys? Not to get involved with those selfish pleasures, not to get involved in what everybody thought was right in their own sight. My 3 boys, they stayed righteous. They stayed pure. I'm so proud of them. It was hard. Year after year, the building went on. And I went down to the ark the other day, and I was amazed. God used us, a little family. But we remained pure so he could use us. One family, my husband, my boys, and myself, we built this ark. My boys are older now, and they're looking for wives. And, well, I've had a lot of discussions with my boys about the wives that they need to select because their very lives depend on it. I talked a lot to them. Now, Shem's already picked his wife, and I've started to work with her so that she understands what life's going to be like. Japheth and Ham need to find their sons, but I've already told the boys, you need to be careful because their lives depend on it. How do I do this? Well, I want you to know there's no support groups. There's no crisis line. I don't have any books to read. I decided that I needed to be close to God because I needed to be close to God. I couldn't use Noah's relationship with God. It had to be mine. And I knew I couldn't handle it on my own. I had to keep my faith alive because my family was going to depend on my faithfulness to God. That was my motivation every day, was remain faithful so that my family could survive. Now, I'm convinced for us to make it through this, I had to trust in God's plan. And I had to believe in the work that my husband was doing. I couldn't let myself be distracted by all the stuff around me or what anybody else thought of me. I couldn't be swayed. I couldn't be distracted. And I had to be the example every day, through every situation, for my boys and for my husband. And let me tell you, at home, that's the hardest place to live it. Sometimes it's just easier just to live it and be quiet and allow the Lord to work through you. Oh, I've had pressures from family, the ridicule that would weigh on me. But I had to remain strong even though year after year after year passed. I had to believe in God who gave us the promise. I had to believe that God who is who he says he is. And I had to believe that he was faithful to get me through. I had to teach this to my boys, not just by words, but by my actions. I had to stay focused on that promise for my family. I had to believe even when it didn't make any sense. I had to believe when others didn't. And I had to believe even when it seemed impossible. Well, the reason I came today to talk to you was because you're not so different from me. Today, the world is filled with all kinds of wickedness and evil and selfish desires. Just read the newspapers. Yet that same faith that got me through, that same determination, that same drive, it's all right here still. It comes through our relationship with Jesus. He helps us get through every single day. Not just to get through, but to be courageous and strong. To face each situation knowing that Jesus walks with me as he guides us, as we seek him and he shows us the path. He has a plan for each person in our family, each and every one. Now, as women, how many women are here? Are we all women? Sounds one? There's just one that's not. You know, God gave us a calling that's different. And that is that we set the atmosphere in the home. How many of you have heard the saying, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy? Doesn't that say that we set the tone in the home? I think we should turn that around. When mama's happy, everybody's happy. When mama believes and trusts God, everybody's going to believe and trust God. When mama reads her Bible and prays, everybody's going to read their Bible and pray. See, God's given us that mission to set that tone. It's a calling of God that says, as we communicate to our family, that the God of the universe, the maker of all things, loves us beyond measure and is intimately involved in every aspect of our lives. And that he knows our struggles, our cares, our hurts, and our worries, and he'll show us how to get through them. As we set that tone in our home, that changes us from the inside out. So we have to ask ourselves something. Do we believe? Do we believe that God loves our family more than we can? And that he has a plan for our family members that's good for them and right and pure? Do we believe even when times are hard? Or when it doesn't make any sense? Or do we believe when others don't? Or when doubts try to distract us? Do we believe that God is who he says he is and that he's faithful? Now, through these difficult times, let me tell you, I had to stop and regroup. There was times that I just got overwhelmed and I just had to stop. How many of you like the fragrance of fresh bread baking in the oven? Isn't that awesome? Makes me want to run and go get the butter and honey. That's like our faith. It needs to be fresh because it draws us to him. I don't like moldy, stale bread that's a week old. That's if we try to rely on old faith. Our faith and our walk with the Lord has to be daily and fresh. We need to rekindle our prayer time with him. Talk to him about what's on our heart. We need to create that godly atmosphere in our home as much as we're able to. We need to remind ourselves that God created us for this role. He knew from the beginning of time that we'd be sitting at this table today. And he knows what's going on in each one of your lives. And he knows how to get you through it. Our role is incredibly important. We influence another generation just as much as we were influenced by the previous generation. We need to realize to be righteous and faithful. It changes things. It saves us, and it protects our family. We need to stay close to the Lord. Trust even when it doesn't make any sense, because God is faithful to walk us through the path that he's given us for us and our children, because their lives may depend on it. Our responsibility is that we choose to guide and direct our family so that God can work in them, because it saves them. It rescues us. It gives us blessings, and it takes us places where we can't even imagine. He wants to show you through your time with him how strong and steadfast you can be through all these days that are so challenging. So stop and regroup. In your heart and in your mind, bake that fresh bread of faith. And he'll help you to guide your family, whether they're whatever age they might be, that he'll guide your family. I want to thank you for this opportunity so that I could share my story with you and to realize that we're all strong women. We have many callings on our life, but the first calling is to be drawn to the Lord.